Hi, I'm Nyssa, and I'm a new split in Collective Mind, and this is my Meet the Alters video. This is also going to be my first, main video on the channel. I've been in a couple gaming live streams since I split, but this is my first, sit-down video, I guess. And there's some background that I'm going to get into as part of essentially explaining who I am. So for any of you who don't know, Kitty used to be a little in our system. She split from Primal as one of her cubs when we were 13 and grew up slowly over time, things like that, and have been struggling a lot before eventually fusing with Jade. Primal is one of the alters who fused with old Jade into becoming the version of Jade we have now, but she had also fused with Mama Bear, but that's less relevant for this, but just to fill in the picture, I guess. So before those fusions, Kitty had been Primal's cub, Primal's daughter, and she was Primal's first. And when Primal and Jade fused, that same relationship existed with that new version of Jade, and had existed to some extent even before then, because that old version of Jade didn't know about her subsystem and didn't know that Primal was a separate alter from her. Jade essentially thought that she shape-shifted into different versions of herself, and so she also felt like Kitty's mom. Kitty had a lot of trouble asking for help. She did a lot of struggling on her own without really telling anybody, and overworking herself a lot. And she eventually opened up a little bit and started asking for help shortly before fusing with Jade. And that would have been Jade after the fusions with Primal and Mama Bear, just for clarity. Much more recently, we made a system update, I think, that included that fusion. And Kitty had been struggling for a while. She split at one point not too long before that fusion. But that fusion was really, really hard on our system. It was really emotional, and it was pretty destabilizing. And it seemed essentially like Kitty and Jade fused without actually totally integrating. It seemed like they were still internally separate, like Jade was keeping the parts that used to be Kitty in a box somewhere within herself, almost like she was keeping her separate. And a lot of us thought essentially that it was just going to take time for Jade to essentially accept that the fusion had happened and get more comfortable with that and with who she was now and all of those things. But I'm beginning to think now that the fusion wasn't necessarily even meant to be permanent. I don't know how to explain it, but I think it was a part of a process that wasn't over yet. More recently, if you've been watching our gaming live streams or the videos of them that we put up on YouTube afterward, you would know this. Jade was front stuck for several days. She also couldn't let go of the idea throughout that time that she was going to split. She was very worried that she was going to split, and a lot of people thought that it was rooted in past experiences where she had been front stuck for a while and then ended up splitting. But I think that she might have been splitting slowly, essentially, the entire time that she was front stuck. So I split from Jade, I guess just a few days ago. I stayed front stuck for a little bit after the split, for a few hours, handful of hours. Picked out a picture and a name and some of those things. But Jade was able to go inside and sleep and things like that sooner than I was. But not by a lot. I was able to not too long afterward. But as far as I can tell, I have all of Kitty's memories. I also still feel connected to, like, the relationships that she had in the same ways that she did. Like, I feel like I have the same relationships with people that I used to. I know not all of them are going to be exactly the same, but I still feel very close to those people in the same types of ways as I did before, when I was Kitty. I also feel much closer in terms of, like, identifying with Kitty's memories. Those feel very personal to me, and any bits that were colored in by Jade's memories in any way feel separate. Those feel like they're Jade's, that I, like, heard about or watched a movie of or something, but they're more separate. But I'm not the same person as I was when I was Kitty. I'm older. I think Kitty was around 10 or 11 when she fused. When I fused. I'm 15 now, but I am pretty sure I still age slide. I did as Kitty and Jade does. And I think I have once already, at least once since splitting. I chose the name Nyssa because it means new beginnings. It felt fitting, and the name felt right in a lot of ways, I guess. I liked the sound of it. It was easy for me to remember. I guess it just kind of clicked. I'm a spiritual protector, and I'm also a caretaker. I'm definitely an internal caretaker, but I think I am also at least partly an external caretaker. But I haven't existed like this for very long yet, so some of those things might change over time, or I might end up adding to those roles and things like that. I'm not sure. Kitty was not a part of the Dark Core subsystem, but I am now, but I am able to leave it at will in the same way as Nyssa is able to in the Music Core subsystem now. Which I'm really happy about, because that means I can more easily spend time with all of my siblings, whether they are in or out of that subsystem. I'm also more comfortable fronting than I used to be as Kitty, but I do still have dysphoria, but it's not as bad as Kitty's was. I think being older is helping some with that. But I also don't know if my, like, experiences while I was still fused with Jade of fronting more often might have also made it easier for me in some way. I'm not sure. But that does seem to be easier for me now. I expect to continue fronting fairly regularly, which I didn't really as Kitty. I did the most early on with getting to know Primal Pack, because I spent a lot of time with them. But I fronted very rarely before then, and had stopped fronting as much for a while before the fusion happened. But because I am more comfortable fronting more often, I think I might end up being on the channel more. I've already been on the channel much more than Kitty was. She wasn't on it at all. She was referenced once or maybe a few times, but she wasn't actually on the channel. I guess that's about what I know about myself so far. At least in terms of what I'm comfortable sharing. But who knows, maybe I'll eventually learn so much more about myself that I'll make a part 2. Or maybe it'll come up if I eventually make a personality test video or something like that. But yeah. We're okay. I think this split is overall a good thing for our system. I think it is better for really everyone involved. And I think it was probably going to be a part of the process the whole time. I'm not really looking at it as like a failed fusion or anything like that. I think the fusion was probably needed too, but I think that was only one step of what needed to happen, and this is the next one. So Jade is going to seem very similar, if not identical, essentially to who you would have already seen her as, especially because the earlier part of the channel, her videos would have been before Kitty even fused with her. But also, like I said, she kept the parts that had been Kitty pretty separate from who she was. She didn't identify with them, and I don't think they really changed her that much. Maybe it was more than we've really been able to see, but I think if anything, the main difference in her now might be that she's just doing better. But I'm not sure. I guess it's a bit of a complicated reunion in some ways, but it does still feel like a reunion, and that fusion was really hard on her and the rest of us. So yeah. I think it's important to remember that like fusions and splits and all of those things can happen for good or bad or complicated reasons. Fusion isn't always a sign of healing, and splitting isn't always a sign of the opposite. And sometimes it's a mix that's needed. It seems that way in my case, but I guess that's my introduction. I hope you liked this video. I'm sorry that I didn't have the big light on, but we have a headache that we haven't been able to get rid of, and it would have been too much. If you did like the video anyway, I hope you'll click the like button to tell us and YouTube that you liked it. That really helps us a lot. As well as any comments you might have for the comment section. We do read all of those and interact with them. We also have a Discord server if you'd prefer to talk there. We have a section for reacting to videos and things like that. We also have a Twitch channel for any of you who might not know, and we are still working toward our goal of reaching affiliate. We're getting really close. I think as of filming this, we are 10 followers away from the goal we need to reach affiliate, and at the halfway mark, when we get 5 more, we're going to dress our service dog Charlie up as a hot dog for a stream. So if you're not following us over there yet and you would like to see that or want to help us reach affiliate, the link to our Twitch will be in the description as well. And even if you can't make it to the live stream where Charlie's all dressed up, it will be on the channel afterwards. We upload all of those streams here on YouTube afterward, and we are still doing them every day until we reach affiliate. and normal sit-down videos like this are twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. Also, for the month of April, we are doing a special offer on our Patreon where everyone who is a patron at the end of the month of April, will get a special playlist full of videos of our service dog Charlie trying foods for the first time. So if you're interested in that, the link to our Patreon, as always, is in the description as well. And there are a bunch of other perks over there too. But this is a bonus one just for this month, so we'll put some other videos and things on the screen if they're interesting. If they look interesting to you, I guess, then it's an easy way for you to go see any that you missed. But yeah, it's nice to meet you, and thank you for watching. Bye.